A pleasant Tuesday morning to you. Welcome once again to Untengle on the Bridge 99 FM. Very pleasant morning to you, Richie B. Have yourself a wonderful day. And the Up and Go crew, have yourselves a wonderful day also. So, want to say a very special morning to the Bridge Nation. And we also want to say a very special morning to Team Untengle. Thank you very much for joining us on the Bridge 99 FM. Look at that. One little point for you, just cool now, man. So, we're going to be talking with our producer, the Untengle producer, LaFane. So, LaFane is going to join us just about now, whenever you're ready, Laf. And we're going to talk about the Burna Boy show that happened on Sunday.
Morning. Hi, Mama.
Morning, LaFane. Looking beautiful in yellow.
Thank you. Same to you.
You're most welcome. What a t-shirt says, Jamaica 876.
Yes.
You know, some for fast little.
That's right.
Before we start, looking very patriotic in those colors.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Beautiful.
I don't do the red, but I'll do the black, green, and gold.
I hear you. And but you love red.
I do. Actually, pink is my favorite color, but I do like red.
Yeah. What is your favorite color?
Pink. I'm very girly. I'm very girly.
Yes.
No shame in my game. I like burgundy too, you know. And I like bright colors, but pink, all shades of pink.
You're talking my name because I love purple,
That's
but
right.
I also love pink, and just like you say, all shades
Right.
of pink.
Royal.
Pink makes me happy.
Yes. Oh, by the way, Mama, Romy
Yes.
said to tell you that he misses you and he misses dancing for you behind the glass. His words, not mine. So me deliver the message, me never eat it. So.
All right, but tell Romy for me, see, that is just a while ago when I was dancing. I thought to myself, I miss Romy on the flag.
That's right.
Go, Romy always having flag, you see. All right, so let's get right into it. You tell us about the show. Tell us what we're going to talk about.
All right, so in Untangling the Trending this morning, Nigerian Afrobeat Grammy Award-winning artist Burna Boy, a.k.a. the African Giant, he wrapped up his Caribbean leg of his Love Damini album tour on Sunday night, December 18, at the National Stadium, and over 19,000 patrons attended from across the island, and I'm sure persons flew in for it as well. And also on the lineup was Lila Ike and Popcorn, who brought on his love interests, Miss
we have to talk about
Tony
that.
and Singh, yes.
Oh, God.
So,
Yes.
a lot of persons were giving really good reviews about the concert. They really enjoyed themselves. They really loved Leela's performance. And, they were quite happy that they got to experience this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You know, they may never get the opportunity to see Burna Boy in this capacity in Jamaica again. So,
Right.
yeah.
There were a lot of people I noticed saying, young people too, saying that they had never seen Burna Boy perform before, and some of them didn't even know perhaps more than one or two songs. However, they still went.
Yes.
And to me, that is the test of a true entertainer.
Definitely.
If you can sway so many people who probably have never even heard about you before.
Definitely.
And you can now turn them into your fans by your performance.
Definitely.
That's wonderful.
And he's always been lauded for his ability to perform. You know, he they say usually comes on time and just always does something. He sings all his songs, he engages the audience, and he even described the performance or being in Jamaica as a homecoming, the way everyone welcomed him and they were singing word for word with his songs. And people spend them $20,000, them 10, them 50, them 65, them figure sing them like one song.
But you know something, Lafayette? We were talking earlier about the love affair, musical and otherwise, musical, culturally, generally,
right,
between Jamaica and Africa, particularly musically, and I can attest to that because every time I am in the studio with Hono, sometimes we just say, watch them now. As soon as you put on an African beat,
That's
no
true.
matter who serious, no matter who business like, no matter who what, no matter if time signal soon come
throw
up,
words, Mama.
you are all on the floor dancing.
Yes, it's true. That's
So
true.
that is really, it really tells me just that alone. And most of, if not all, of the staff are young people.
Yes, yes, yeah, definitely. And the fact is too that when you visit African countries, you hear a lot of reggae music being played, you hear a lot of dancehall, and you see our flags, in places and spaces there. So it's really, really good that we have that connection, that synergy, bridging that gap where even if you've never been, but you just feel so connected to that space, that continent. So it's really, really good.
It's wonderful. I'm of the opinion that the Africans always endorsed reggae music.
Yes,
They always loved us, always looked up to us, always loved our music. And we too, but I think our love and appreciation is growing steadily.
definitely, definitely. And I think even in the last few years, a couple of years, maybe 10 years, that Afrobeat has really come out, very prominently. You have a lot of persons like Pata Rankin. I mean, I don't know all of them, but I know the songs if I hear them. But
Right.
it Thames, all these persons. So it's really blowing up. And then the collaborations,
Woo!
the song you always played with Wizkid and Movado and
Right.
a lot of them. Tenko, you have so many of them.
Right. And it's so easy to love because because we're one family.
We are. We are.
We don't have to try. Sometimes you're listening to a Spanish song and you're like, oh, so why them do that? We don't have to. No, we never ask why nothing.
It just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, talking about making sense. One of the things about the show that I thought I would mention was the fact that it actually started early. And, Leela Ike, before her performance, she shared a peek of her rehearsal. And there is something that she said that I find to be very important. She said that somebody was saying to me, oh, I know they're going to give you X time, but this is Jamaica. No, we need to break that cycle of thinking that, oh, it's Jamaica. So if something starts at 8 o'clock, let me come at 12 and expect to get my money's worth. You cannot do it like that, people. Remember, say, we are tour the world, We happen to dance abroad before we dance a yard, And there are shows when we have to dip on stage 2 o'clock in the day, in the hot sun, and trust and believe, if I pull up at 1 minute after 2 o'clock, I am not going on the stage. And that is a fact.
Definitely.
And what is interesting, as she is probably saying even more of, we adapt.
Definitely.
We yes.
We should, because it goes back to being disciplined, even as a performer. As we were mentioning about Burna Boy, he's that person disciplined to say, okay, if I'm slated to come on at this time, not because I'm Burna Boy, I'm gonna come on whenever I want to, and they have to make space for me to perform. No, remember, the show has a schedule that they're working with, so you can't, if one thing goes wrong or somebody doesn't show up on time, then it throws everything off and they'll probably have to move on. So
Absolutely. And no one is above that discipline.
Exactly.
And it's something that just as Leela Ike suggested, we have to start to really get it into our culture.
Yes.
And forget about Jamaica time. Yeah, you still got to look at one Jamaica time here and there.
Yes.
But generally speaking, we have to be professional because we are judged internationally by these standards.
Definitely. And she even had a wardrobe malfunction while she was performing, and she continued, because even a gentleman who was nearby was saying, I'm seeing, a part of your breast, and she was like, oh, you're seeing my breast, okay, and she continued
Say that again.
a part of her breast.
Oh. And what happened?
She continued. She was like, "Oh, you're seeing my." She was talking in Jamaican patois, So
Right.
And she said, "Oh, you're seeing my breast," and she just continued performing. She didn't, stop or come off. But
Right.
yeah, it's just professionalism.
Dad, look here. You see that young lady? Wherever she rises to,
Yeah,
it is on her own steam.
definitely.
It is not because of nothing
Yes,
else, but because she's a born superstar.
that's true. Definitely, definitely. And most persons were lauding her performance, like they really, really enjoyed it. Even persons who didn't stay for the entire duration of the show, but they were saying, wow, her performance was really, really amazing.
Right. And to consider that she was the first act, so she
Yes.
was going to be on early.
Definitely.
So she come out and she still do her thing. And although she came on early, people still talking about her performance.
So that goes to show just how good she is.
Right. Exactly. And that's how you woo people to you, not by coming late because you're a star.
But, but there was some technical difficulties though with the show. Nothing is seamless or 100%. You expect that these things will happen, but some persons were really speaking out against about the audio issues that took place at the show. There were times when even during I think Popcorn's performance where they couldn't hear clearly and the screens went blank, so persons weren't happy about that. But the organizers have since issued an apology about it, and they hope that for future events that they can have these issues fixed. So
Right. Right. That was probably the main donor.
yes.
Right. And they were controlling the crowd.
Right. Yes. Yes. You learn. I mean, you learn as you go along with these kinds of things. So, yeah.
But Laverne, when we match those two donors with the ups,
Listen,
goodness.
listen. I think most persons, as we mentioned, that they were really talking about the performances and just the amazing experience that it's just once in a lifetime. So
right. And then, I mean, I know Popcorn, it was unfortunate because he had a problem with the audio.
right,
But he certainly came back.
he did, and he put on a show.
He put on a show for real. So what did you think about his performance with his is this his ball? I don't know.
I mean, the jury's still out. I'm not sure if either of them have really come out and say, okay, we're officially in a relationship. I don't know what.
Right.
It
But
was
that kiss?
It was quite something. It was. I don't think that can be staged. I don't think that's just
no.
acting.
No.
Yeah. So.
No. But something, let me tell you how I feel about it. First of all, they look so good together.
They do.
That's the first thing. Sorry for all the popcorn
The
fans
naysayers.
who had all kind of, wants on him. But they look beautiful together. And it is my opinion that it is a good look when we can focus a little bit more on that side of ourselves on stage.
Yes.
Because we can be very angry on stage, and there's a place for that. I mean, I say there's not a place for that. But you see
Thing
what
coming
happened. You see what happened between Popcorn and what's her name again?
Tony and Singh.
Tony-Ann. What happened between Popcorn and Tony-Ann looked beautiful, and it was softer, and I think we need to explore that side of us some more.
Right.
Because
definitely.
the unruly boss really looked like him smitten.
He was. And persons were commenting saying, "Well, if he's not afraid to come in front of the entire world, with his person and to show this public display of affection, then why should I settle?" Persons were making jokes on the internet about that. So
It's a good look.
Yeah.
And you remember the other day we were talking about just that, about men, particularly Jamaican men,
Yes,
who
yes.
have a fear of being vulnerable.
Yes.
That was a perfect example
It
of
is.
not being afraid
It
to
is.
be vulnerable.
It is, and people loved it. I mean, of course, he has his hardcore side, but it was good to see him in this light, being so affectionate and just loving, and us
Right.
against the world. And some person were saying, "Oh, modern day Bob and Cindy." People,
That
the internet is
crossed my mind, I tell you the truth.
undefeatable.
Yeah, it kind of crossed my mind, and I'm sure people are going to say that because the Miss World thing,
Yeah.
the beauty queen thing, but it don't look staged as you
No,
say, love.
no.
It look nice.
Very nice.
So when all is said and done, the Burna Boy show was a wonderful thing that happened in Jamaica.
Yes, definitely. People say money well spent, even though one song them go sing and them had to research, but For the most part, everybody was happy that they went and had a good time.
All right, wonderful. So we meet again on Thursday.
Yes, on Thursday to untangle the trending again.
Right. Okay, Lafayne. So thank you very much for being a part of our conversations, because we're going to be looking out for your texts and sharing your opinions with our listeners. All right. So we're going to take a break.
Definitely.
So forward. So we're waiting on our guest, Diversia Ellis, and she's going to join us by phone. And she is so many things. I was telling you that she wears many crowns. And okay, so we're ready. So good morning, Davia.
Good morning, good morning.
How are you? I don't have to ask.
Yes, I'm doing just fine. I'm happy to be here with you.
Okay, it's wonderful to have you also. All right. So I was just telling our listeners a while ago that you wear many crowns, and you also do so with many accents.
Can I tell you?
What's up with that? Let's talk a little bit about that first. I know it's the strangest question to start off with.
About the accent?
Yes.
You know, I think sometimes I might get easily bored. So when I'm presenting, I might incorporate 10 different accents sometimes. And it allows people to think of different places and times.
Oh my God.
Though we're in one geographical location. My students like it, and I like it. And yeah, I feel comfortable dramatizing and stuff, yeah.
So you describe yourself as an animated teacher. You know, the thing about you just said a while ago that sometimes you get bored. But sometimes the students get bored too, you know.
Of course.
Yes. So you describe yourself as an animated teacher. Does that have a link with what we just spoke about?
In terms of my multipotentiality?
No, in terms of your the way how you deliver whatever you have to deliver, the accents and the way you deliver.
Yes, definitely. At all times, we have to cater to different learning styles, be it student or adult audiences. Plus, it's just my way of being my unique self and having fun while doing activities that I find, that are meaningful.
Okay. All right. So it's your way of going with yourself.
Yes, one with myself and so.
All right. So let us talk about now multipotentialite. You're a multipotentialite, and
Yes.
that's how you describe yourself, and this is how you also recommend an alternative way of looking at careers. Let's talk about, first of all, who is a multipotentialite?
I'm a multipotentialite. You might just be a multipotentialite too, but multipotentialites don't want to choose just one thing that they're interested in, right? Multipotentiality is an educational and also a psychological concept which refers to our abilities and different preferences. So we might sometimes have a strong intellectual or artistic curiosity and wanting to excel in two or more different fields.
Yes, I get you. And why I say it's an alternative way of thinking about careers is because the traditional way of thinking about careers is either you're going to be a lawyer, a doctor, or an Indian chief, and never the three shall meet.
Right. And we also find that many times, even though the system encourages us to take this one directional path and find that one true purpose and become a specialist in a particular area, lots of people end up becoming multipotentialites because you want to have self-fulfilling experiences, right? So people of all ages and backgrounds can express their multipotentiality doing activities that they like. And not all the time you make money from it, because some people might choose a full-time job that allows them to get by in life while giving them enough time and space to pursue their hobbies and stuff. But I think it's one sure way to achieve self-actualization, yeah, and especially without money too.
I guess one of the features, though, of being a multi-potentialite is
Yes,
that you are good in fields that sometimes are totally opposite to each other. So you can be somebody who intellectually stimulated very easily, and you can also be someone who are artistic. So I think that perhaps is what the system has failed to help us to bring together. The totally different sides of us.
yes, most definitely, because we're multifaceted beings, right? Even if we do decide to become specialists.
Yes, yes. Speaking of which, though, even if we do decide to become specialists, it came to me because I was reading a lot, and I see that you do a lot, and you remember old time people would have said "jack of all trades and master none" is a phrase used to describe many among us.
Yes.
Do you not run the risk of spreading yourself too thin when you do so many things?
I would prefer to say jack of all trades and master of many. We have to start somewhere, and the focus is required. In terms of running the risk, I've actually created a multi-passionate planner that I will be launching on my website. I'm going to post it next week, Monday. Something to keep multi-passionate persons in focus, to keep us on track. And focus sometimes means that we have to accept that part of us that we're becoming, to say, well, there's certain places I can't afford to go. There's some people I can't afford to talk to because they're going to drain your energy and tell you about all the things that you cannot do. So, in all things, balance and temperance is required.
Right, right. Multi-passionate, that's a very interesting way to put it. Multi-passionate. We can write that down and then we can find out
Yes,
later.
so we can use the word multi-potentialite, multi-passionate, a Renaissance person, Renaissance woman, or even
Right.
multi-pod, yeah.
All right. And it's a wonderful space to be.
Yes.
So I know that you also address the subject because you can't address multi-passion and you can't address this kind of way to live and not address how to avoid burnout.
Definitely. We have to avoid burnout. Burnout might mean that if you need 1 month break from your phone to, gather your thoughts together and refocus, then do just that.
Right, right.
I'm
right.
coming out of one of those periods like that where over time you learn how to avoid the burnout. Sometimes you have to set boundaries with people as well. Not everybody can have access to you at all times. Work time is different from play time. And journaling and reflecting is also important. I have created a few journal worksheets that I've inserted in the planner that I'm publishing next week.
You mentioned
In terms of nature,
No, you go ahead.
in terms of nature too, I find that nature is one free therapy that we can all use as islanders here on, the island of Jamaica. It's very powerful, and I actually incorporate guided meditation in my classes to secondary students. In my health and family life education classes, I do guided meditation with my students, and over time, when I step into the classroom, they actually say, "Miss, could we do a guided meditation today?"
Nice.
So
Where is
these
this
things they do
classroom?
work. Where is what?
Where's the classroom and the students of whom you speak? Who are they?
So the students at St. Mary High School, whom I teach health and family life education too.
Okay. All right. So, we are at a point here now in our, evolution, let us put it that way. That a lot of people, Davia, are thinking that they are doing too much and are thinking that the competitiveness is creating a lot of stress, competitiveness from the workforce. And a lot of us who find ourselves doing a lot
Yes.
might think that we putting up enough boundaries, and probably one of the biggest boundaries we ever put up, I not do so much.
Right, because there's toxic volunteerism to begin with.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. So is that is part of the reality too. And let us talk about the person like who you describe yourself as someone who balances being an extrovert with an introvert, because there's no way this can happen respectfully unless there is a balance. You can't just go like a runaway train. You can't just, no matter how much journal you do, no matter how much boundary you put up. No, believe you me. So let us talk about the fact that at some point you have to calm down, be still, and go do something else. Ambivert?
Right. So I am ambiverted. Ambiverted works for me. Being ambiverted works for me as a multipotentialite, because though I like to take the mic, and I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, and have a good time. When I'm finished with that, I just want to be by myself, where I can do some writing, write some poems, or just sit and do nothing. And that also, allows me to refocus and revitalize myself and re-energize so I can take on the next project.
Right. And I'm happy that we are here. I'm happy that this is where we are at, because I am in the public eye. And what you just described a while ago, ladies and gentlemen, and all of that, a lot of times people who meet you on the road would like you to be their personal private MC. Yes, or they might just say to you, say, laugh, make a ear, and no joke, no get. I'll know.
And I know you're a true multipotentialite, because that was the next point I wanted to talk about. Sometimes you might end up looking at different things to different people, and that's okay. Sometimes you might not get to gel or mesh with different people in different industries, because maybe you're between 2 to 3 industries at any given time. But it's something that we get accustomed to, and it's an awesome thing. Currently in the high school system, a lot of students are encouraged to choose subjects so that they can go and just attack and take over the world with one particular career interest, something that we could also look at, because let's say you see a student who is struggling academically, that student might be doing so excellent in extracurricular activities, and those extracurricular activities might just be along the lines of their vocational interest. So we have a lot of work to do there.
Yes, but I'm just thinking about a sister of mine who has a brilliant 15-year-old. She's in the States, and she's a straight A student, straight A. Everything she touches is A.
Yeah.
She just excels, and she has been warning her parents, who are getting ready to send her to an Ivy League university, that send me any which part I want to go. It's art me want to do.
Yeah.
So there is that. There is that when we talk about, multipotentialite. There is that. We have to bring all of this in the conversation. It is my opinion, because most of us kind of, doing whole heap, but can we focus on doing what you truly want to do, and for make sure that the whole heap what you do is it you really want to do.
Right. It is possible. Yeah, it is possible, but sometimes it can be stressful. It requires a little coaching, a little career coaching sometimes. Because take me, for example, I'm a psychology graduate. When I graduated with my first degree in psychology, and then I realized that I'm also interested in Spanish, and I was always teaching, though I didn't think that I needed to go to school to teach, and I like writing as well. It was frustrating, but then I moved to Colombia in 2017, and I decided that I need to find myself outside of everything that was introduced to me. And within a month or so, I recognized that I knew what I wanted to do. It's just that it involved a connection or a combination between education, psychology, and communication.
I got you. And when I say I get you, I mean I get you. And sometimes you're not even aware of some of the wonderful things that you not only just can do but love to do until You go do them.
Exposure. Yes.
Yes, yes, Davia.
Exposure.
Same
It
way,
is
so
everything. It
everything.
is absolutely everything.
All right, so we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk. I'm going to talk about your psychology, about psychology, not about your psychology. We're going to talk about psychology more than anything else now. And I particularly want to talk about that because of the time of year that we're having this conversation. All right? All right.
Yes, Christmas blues.
All right, good. So we're going to take a break, right? So forward. So we have live online our guest for our first guest for this morning, and she's Davia Diversia Ellis. Why you call yourself Diversia? Just
Call
forcing.
Diversia because I respect neurodivergent people, people who might be wired differently.
Yes.
And being a multipotential, I do like to be engaged in diverse activities every day.
Okay. All right. I got you. All right. Do you actively practice psychology?
Right. So, as a full-time health and family life education teacher, my psychology degree allows me to work with the guidance counselors and other personnel to allow students to deal with the challenges of everyday life. So, yeah.
Okay. Right. So you work with students particularly.
Yes, students, and we do train teachers. I do parenting sessions sometimes at different institutions. All of these things.
Right. Okay, so at this time of the year, I'm so happy that I have a practicing psychologist to talk to, because a lot of people in the midst of all the jingling of the bells are having some serious emotional and psychological problems, particularly surfacing at this time of the year. And I would like you to address it. Topics like loneliness, dysfunctional family gatherings, and such the like. Let us talk about that, because these are things that, because everybody is so happy and wonderful and have all these gifts to give, not nobody wants to be, nobody wants to keep it real and talk about dreading Thanksgiving, family get-togethers, and things like those.
Yes, we can keep it real. We can keep it real.
Right. Let's keep it real, and let's talk to those who are experiencing loneliness at this time when everybody is seemingly so happy.
Yeah, people do experience Christmas blues. Number one, there's financial stress. Some people don't even have the money, no matter how much many organizations or companies want to announce all those deals and discounts and so on. People are facing it. Some people are also grieving from missing loved ones when they realize that mommy used to bake cake and she's not around now.
Exactly.
They don't know how to cope with that just yet. And of course, there's, the loneliness. Some might lose motivation or feel uneasy. So lots of things might look different. Sometimes some people don't get something as simple as hugs from loved ones, or who you think might be able to support you. You might realize that, boy, they're in such a sticky position that it doesn't make no sense to reach out to them. So there are some tips that we could look at in terms of how we can beat the holiday blues and looking out for our loved ones, right?
Yes, let's look at these.
Can call up somebody, ring, ring. We can call somebody who we think can help, right? We can also do something for our community. So let me put myself in the situation. I will be making some calls of foreign. In terms of doing something for the community, I want to say I am going to be assisting Mr. Teen United Nation in the capacity of Miss Jamaica United Nations. They're having their sashing ceremony and concert at the Bishop Gibson High School for Girls this Thursday, December 22nd at 5 p.m., yeah?
Right.
And we can also find new ways to keep in contact with people we love. Like me, sometimes I don't like texting, but nobody is really obligated to call us or talk to us all the time. So sometimes we can make compromise and
Right, you
try to
do
send a
it.
text message. Yeah.
Right, that's so true. Because sometimes some of us sit down and wait for a call, and I say, "Them nah call me," but but
Yeah.
but you not call
Somebody has
neither.
to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody has to do it. Right. So that sash that you wear. Let's talk a little bit about the sash. You wear the sash.
Yes.
Jamaica. Tell
Miss
us about
Jamaica
that.
United Nation. So, how I fell into this was because I wanted an original song that I wrote to be played at their competition.
Mm-hmm.
And while having that conversation, somebody said, you could just be a contestant in the competition for 2023 and you can sing your song or whatever. It was fairly easy for me to be representing Jamaica as well because I'm accustomed to doing a lot of community service work and we do have to fulfill our hours. And basically what I used to tie the knot to say, is this something for me? Being a multipotentialite, I think that pageantry really allows one to explore multiple talents and just shine.
All right, I hear that. So we need to use some of that, what you call it now, multi-passion. We need to use some of your multi-passion to help. Because if multi-passion is not serving those around us, why, well, yeah. So let us continue to talk about your passion of psychology, your discipline. And let us continue to ask the question, how will your multi-passion, how can we tap into some of your multi-passion to help others? So let us continue the conversation. So we talk about loneliness, and you said, as you suggested, one way is to get involved in the community. Let us talk about unrealized goals set this year, because a lot of people are having goals that they set from 2021 and it has not been realized. Talk to us as a psychologist. What do you suggest we do?
All right, so I rather call myself a psychology student, though.
Okay. Okay. As a student of psychology, what do you suggest?
But though we might have different interests or multiple interests, it is still important to focus and it is still important to niche down and have particular target audiences that we're working with. So, for example, being a multi-passionate doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have multiple jobs. Sometimes you're able to fulfill multiple passions by just doing one job. For example, teaching. So as a teacher, I not only get to teach and educate and talk and dramatize and act and sing. There's so many things I can do. I like radio as well. I did a live radio broadcast earlier this year while we had a career fair. So focus is very important, and planning. I like the term planned spontaneity. Planned spontaneity is important as well. We are able to plan enough, or we're able to plan so that we can meet spontaneous events or things that might be thrown in our faces. And hello?
Right
and
here. Right.
Yeah, and pretty much not having too much expectations that's going to cramp your mood or your style, but just being realistic as much as possible. So a multi-potentialite might want to take on everything. It doesn't mean that the person has to take on 5 different projects this month. We can space out the project to say, well, we're going to meet a particular project goal in the first quarter, the second quarter, third or fourth quarter. And it just really depends. We're all in a position to tailor our experiences so that it can meet our needs and so that we're not feeling burdened but self-fulfilled.
I hear you. Okay, yeah, that sounds like sound advice. I wish I had a little more time to talk because I would really love to delve more into multi-potentialites because the major thing that I would like to know is how mission-minded are you, or how mission-minded are multi-potentialites, or is it just about success and doing what you want to do and doing a whole
No,
heap of
it's not.
things and you know?
Yes, I think multipotentialites are very mission minded. Some end up becoming polymaths where they are so talented and gifted in 4 or 5 different areas, and we've seen many persons in history who are like that. Yeah.
I hear you. And for those who consider themselves multi-potentialites, I perhaps consider myself to be one also. But
Oh, yeah.
I find though that while we pursue our dreams and while we find out more about who we are and what we can do, we really need, especially at times like these and outside of this season, to figure out how all of who we are can assist all of who we are together.
Most definitely. Ubuntu, I am, because we are
That's
pretty
right.
much whatever we can do now to just develop ourselves, whatever information we have, we can just use it. Use what we have until we have what we need and focus on who we are becoming. The beauty about self-actualization is that we can see self-actualized in the here and now. It's not something that you're going to fulfill 10 more years from now. If you know that you're doing all that you can possibly do to step up and improve your circumstances, then sure, we're on the right path. And that's why I wrote a song called Step Up, Check Up that I hope to share with the world in a very official form soon.
Okay, all right. So while
Yeah,
we
man.
actualize ourselves and while we find our full potential, I think every step of the way we need to ask ourselves, what am I bringing to the communal table? Wonderful talking to you,
Definitely.
Davia, and continue to be this multi-potentialite that you are. Actualize all your potentials and continue to help others to do the same.
Thank you so much. It was lovely being here.
Okay, have yourself a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's a conversation with a multi-potentialite. I've never really heard of the term before, but I really going to have to, explore it more, investigate it more, and find out how multi-potentialites can actually be a help to a failing system, them kind of way there. So that was my guest, and my guest was Diversia Ellis, and she's a training and development practitioner for over a decade and a multi-potentialite who wears many crowns. Want to say good afternoon to Lee Tafari. Good afternoon, Lee.
Good afternoon, my blessed mother.
How are you, my
you
darling
doing?
royal son?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm just so grateful to hear from you, and just don't say we're here. We're here.
Right. I'm happy that we got you
Yeah.
because, I've been trying. But something? The CD that we're going to talk about later, right? It is just so fitting for the time. And there's a line in one of the songs, Upwell Sound, that you just give out majestic or magnificent. Oh my goodness. And it is indeed magnificent. It's a time for us to celebrate magnificence. So welcome to the season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, indeed.
Okay, so let us start at the very top. For those who don't know who Lee Tafari is, I have been telling them earlier on that you are actually the son of Trevor Lee, Daddy Lee, and he's the owner of Lee's Unlimited. So let us start from there, from how you were raised back in the day.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, well, I grew up mostly in the States, mostly in South Florida, but I left Jamaica when I was 7 years old. But from very young, I grew into sound system. So it's like my old man was owner of Leeds Unlimited as a sister. So it's like Leeds Unlimited is like my big brother or sister. So if you look at it, it's my family, you know. It's like I grew and see, you know, these powerful walls as speakers. So it's like something that I couldn't run away from. So I decided that I don't even know if I decided or it just happened that I actually start playing sound system, you know, that just happened naturally. First I couldn't touch it because I wasn't ready. They wouldn't allow me to touch it. Yeah.
Right.
They wouldn't allow me to touch it, you know. But then as I went along, I gained experience and challenged myself, and I watch everybody, you know, watch not just Lee's Unlimited crew, but every dance that I would go to, I'll go right up to the front and watch the roar them and watch the waggy tea them. And you know, there's a venue in South Florida called My High Temple, and that's really where I get the really observing the sound and watching the selectors and watch how them operate and making my own little spice out of it, you know. But
Right.
in the chance that I would be in Jamaica, that didn't know exactly where I would want to be, which is out in St. Thomas. So it would just send me on my way as soon as I would come in, you know. And I would always spend most of my like holiday times and that kind of stuff out there in St. Thomas. But it go way back because from was little youth, so usually would be out there because he had a club named Nice and Easy, and they would bring in like Dennis Brown and all those people, and they had a little room for us. So we would be sleeping in one room, but then you're hearing like certain people performing and sound playing. You would hear it because it's so loud, you know. So we always were in the music. It's like you can't escape it, and then what family always keeping party, and it just always festive, you know. Yeah,
So let
man.
me
So
ask you
that's
something.
really
Let me ask
the
you this,
root of
Tolly. Let me ask you this because you couldn't escape it. It was all around you. Your dad is a selector, very popular selector, and yet still both your parents didn't even want you to touch the equipment. What was that for you as a youth growing up, seeing your dad select, wanting to select and can't touch the equipment?
Yeah, well, he would select off the scene, you know. He wasn't really the upfront man, but he would send in his when he feels something is to play most of the time. That's how I observed him. But his selectors that he hired, because you know is a profession, you know. In Jamaica, it's a full on profession. So I wasn't ready yet, so they wouldn't allow me to touch even the selectors. They would tell me, hey, allow that, they take out the mic or something. So leave that alone. Because you don't ready for that yet, and is a professional environment, you know.
Okay, all right. So they eventually came around.
That is where that come. Yeah. As I go along, then daddy start hearing about me in from the States. Like he would hear feedback in Jamaica. Say, boy, Mr. Lee, have a boy, but they are foreign, you know. and like me remember one time Sky Juice daddy called me and said, boy, Sky Juice, see him play at Georgia, you know. The man said, Mr. Lee, the boy make me work. Me never even go, me don't want to take off my shirt and all them things. But the man, when him done work, man, me have to work shirt, have to come off and rain, yeah, man. So daddy started hearing here, because I wasn't playing Lee's Unlimited right out the bat, because as I said, that wasn't my first inlet, you know.
Right,
I had to develop the arc and have a little sound, and then we come up the line and Rhythm Force. That was a big sound in South Florida, and they offered me the opportunity to come on that sound, which I was very excited about.
Which sound was
that?
that?
A major sound in South Florida.
Which sound was
Rhythm
that?
Force.
Oh, Rhythm
know?
Force. Okay.
Rhythm Force. Rhythm
Okay.
Force, yeah. So that's where we make our name, because we had a place named La Reserve in South Florida, and we started developing crowds off of the high school crowds, them and everybody, and our thing started to be packed, no matter who in town, whichever sound or whichever stage show, every Saturday we were packed, and that's where I really started making my name in South Florida.
So how old were you that time?
Hearing about that.
So how old were
Just
you?
come out of high school, so
Okay.
about early 20s or so. Yeah.
So whose sound was Black Chinese?
Yeah, so Black China, came on after I was playing at Leeds Unlimited already, but then Black China reached out to me and said, they're looking for a road team because they got very popular, and they didn't have enough selectors to facilitate, so they started to reach for selectors in South Florida that would go out and do the work. But that's how I really get my name. I Chipley at that time. It's not Lee Tafari. Still Chipley is funny because I'm still doing. I started recently playing as Chipley again, and I get in work. So it's really funny. Full circle. Yeah.
Okay. You know, there's an
Yeah,
interesting
so-
story
so
that
they-
you tell. There's an interesting story that you tell about a friend who was billed to play at an event and he had too much to drink and you had to step up.
Yeah, that's how I started out. Oh, shit.
Tell us
I
that
shared
story.
Yeah, man, remember that. The original name E&L. Yeah, man, E&L was the selector of all of us, because none of us was really a selector. Because I used to just dance. That's my first inlet to music. But daddy, not daddy, E&L, E&L drink must have one Heineken and get drunk. And couldn't manage the party. And so me just pick up, you remember Travel Fox?
Yes.
You remember Travel Fox?
You mean the shoe?
Yeah, that's about the 45. Yeah, that's about the 45 them in Mr. Me just start dig up the 45 them out of the Travel Fox box. And from there, someone, them would not stop me from, they would not say, they wouldn't stop me from play. Every party, them I say, yo, are you a player now? Are you a player? Are you a player? Yeah, man. So
Nice.
it's like I just get elected into it. Yeah. Yeah, because I
Nice.
wasn't even saying, boy, I'm being a selector neither. I never really said that. I just was very interested in it.
You're always excited.
Just music.
Right.
It's just
right,
music. It's not even about
right.
any one job in the music. It's just music. Yeah.
Right. I love that. All right. So, you know, I'm excited about talking to you about this, you know, because, you know, for those listening, one of the things that I absolutely love about Lee Tafari, and anyone who knows him well would attest to this, that whatever it is that you're doing, you give it your all, and you're really true to whatever it is that you do. So we're going to take a break, right, producer? I think we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, I really want us to talk about your vinyl selections, because that had a lot, and we're still going to talk about your being a singer, and we're still going to talk about Upful Sound CD, but let us talk about your vinyl selections when you don't move, right? So we're just going to take a break, and then we talk about that. All right. So we have live online none other than Lee Tafari. And for those who don't know, this is Lee Tafari we have on the we still say turntable. Oh yes, you know, that's why we have to love Lee Tafari, because and say you're select vinyl so you can't laugh off of my CD. Anyway, we have Lee Tafari. We have Lee Tafari live online, and he's a singer and author of this song. So Lee Tafari, you know, we were talking about you selecting. First of all, happy belated birthday greetings to you.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes. I was in Jamaica for 2 weeks. I had a good time. I get to spend time and just hug her up. I've been there since the whole pandemic thing, so really very grateful to be there, you know.
Nice. All right. So you started selecting like a real selector, you know, who select a dance and know how to entertain people, and then you selected no vinyl. How that came about? Selecting vinyl.
Well, that is the original way. You know, that is the
Sure.
only way that we knew how. If you wanted to play, that was the way that you're going to play.
True.
You know, even though we used to have a clash them with our cassette on the phone, and you go through all kind of face them, because we just didn't want to play music. So we used to use part of sound cassette and all them stuff there and clash with each other. But we as friend and friend, but we learn to really select as with record, you know. Original style is 1 turntable. I learned with 2, but then I can facilitate myself with 1 turntable. Still, I can still entertain a crowd, because I think one of the things that was always my strong point is being able to narrate and explain to people, like going to certain context of what the music is, what it's going to say, or how it's going to, you know, tell a story then, because it's so learn it to tell a story, you know, yeah. So we could get away with 1 turntable, you know. Yeah, many times we'd have to do that. Even I remember one time a turntable conk out for me, and I just have to make way with 1, and the people them did love it, and I used it as a strategy as well, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
For
So
those who
yeah.
understand selecting and understand what it means for the tune to run out and you do have another one line up, so you have to talk your way through it. Well, we get that.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You are
man.
master of that.
No.
You are the master of that.
No, no, we all have to be. We all have to be, Lee. So, all right, so fine. So,
Yeah.
so the vinyl, as you say, was the original way, and but
Yeah.
you were playing vinyl at a time when just about most selectors, especially international selectors like yourself, were playing CDs.
Yeah. So I did come through every stage. I didn't like it necessarily playing from the computer. I have a component right now that I'm able to put in like a flash drive, so everything is all on board. I do like that system, but I never really did like the and that is just me personally. I never liked having the laptop up in the dance. It just felt like a disconnect. So
Wow.
I did put down selecting for a while, and I was focusing on learning the guitar and singing at that time. And I was in Jamaica, and then Darren Hamilton Uprising Roots. That wasn't that they had passed, and I was kind of ignoring what was going on, like as far as going to go get the stuff them and that kind of stuff. And they were like, man, we need to go to St. Thomas, and you're supposed to get some of that stuff and get some of the equipment and whatever. I went out there, and Darren said, yo, make sure you don't leave the record them, and they was really motivating me to leave the record them. Was really under dust at that time. It was a room full of records, but they were mostly under dust because nobody, as I said, nobody's playing vinyl.
Right.
And we just went in, we had a show out at Wiki Waki, and that time I was focusing on Lee Tafari as the artist, but when I know start clean up the record them now and start to play them, and everybody say, but man, me never know, so you can select like that,
So when
like
you started to
compulsory,
play,
I become the selector again.
so when you say you clean up
We had
records,
the,
yeah, when
out
you
at
say
Wiki Waki.
oh,
Out at-
you,
yeah.
okay.
Go ahead.
So you just play out a wiki
Yeah,
waki
so we're
first.
cleaning them up because it was a show.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a show we had, and then when them stay, I start to select, and them I say, it was uprising, and a whole heap of artists, Kabaka them and Prodigy them, enough of them would come, and we started, that energy started back with the records them, and we play the record them, and them DJ on the record them, because at that point I had some of the sound system. So that's about 2000 and like little after 2010, I think. That's when Daddy passed a little bit in 2010. So it would have been like 2010 and 2011 time, yeah.
Right.
I think that's the timing, if I'm clear.
You know something about, ones like the I, you're passionate. I said it before, and there are others around you who are just as passionate. And, the link is always being made. And it became a movement. Lee Tafari playing vinyl with the same young ones that you speak of. It became a movement.
Yes, indeed, yeah. It's a really high energy, when I like, real energy that just cranked up like out of the just like what was supposed to happen.
Right.
You know?
I love how you put it.
Yeah,
Right,
that was
right.
it was supposed to happen. Yeah, that was a good energy.
Right.
Definitely a good energy. Yes.
Did that energy of having these young ones like yourself around you who forward thinking and passionate, did that help to kind of fuel the energy to become to really sing, to be confident enough to be a recording artist?
Yeah, well, that is how I went around all of them. We would go to I would link up with Kush them, and that was like the yard out of Rockfort where I could get the opportunity. I remember tingling from I think Viceroy's tingling. He saw the guitar. I used to walk with the guitar, and no, I couldn't even play it. But him say keep walk with it. And every time you see somebody who can play it, you give to them and you watch them do them hand.
Wow.
And I would just ask the Almighty to be able to just even could I just even play and sing at the same time, even one card, two cards, would have happy. And to see where I come, I'm really grateful. But I used to go around, walk. I used to walk from Vineyard Town every day name day, walk, go out to Rockford, go our uprising yard, because when we did this, that was just like our safe gates. Like, you just feel like you're there heaven, you know? We just a whole of vibes. Food a cook and we, is a one pot, whatever, and the fire burn and just a good vibes, you know?
Yes,
So it's there to now being around the musician, them, and uprising, giving you a chance as a like a artist, and say, here, you know, it's Kush them first care me go all Jamnesia and me sing with band. But because he's like a natural performer from the selecting,
right.
It's like it does manifest like in the artist that time that DJ, me more DJ. Me remember me go inside the uprising studio the first time, and they was playing Kush, they was playing and Kush and Rice and all of them are playing, and them say take out the mic, and them take out the mic and try to sing. Cute Kush said put it down. So we never know key, we never know no key. I just one bag of lyrics now. We never know key. Yeah. I was so like, I was like, oh my God, I felt so let down because I really was so excited about the opportunity. Oh man, I get to sing in a band. But the band said, no man, put it down fast.
All right, Lee. All right, so fine.
Really learn from scratch.
All right, but listen now, because I love this. Because a lot of people think that you just have to be born with it, or you're born with a gold spoon and all of that.
Yeah.
So the first time you took up this mic, which one of them, Rice or Kush tell you put it down?
Yeah, see them tell me put it down, man. And I walked back up to Diversia town that day, that evening. I felt so disappointed. But I know, say, you know, it's like I remember this thing on the wall. That's a responsibility inside of the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And it's from His Majesty, and it speaks of the responsibility of just working. When you desire something, you work towards it. Yeah.
Right.
Even if you're born with it, you still have to put in and work. You know.
Absolutely.
And it's a lesson. It's a lesson if you really desire to do the thing. Because I think I'm born with the selecting, or born with just the music or the feeling of the music.
Right.
But you have to mold it's a craft, you know.
Right,
you can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm born with it. But you have to really go in and work it, and I know I had to have done that, you know.
I love that. So you molded your craft, and when were you confident enough to actually take up back the mic?
Well, it's as I go along, because they have a couple of songs where them could have kind of patch up and make it sound good. So every chance me just stick with the band, and then me get my chance. You have Vanya, you have Earth Warrior, you have some artists who actually was like at Uprising Roots. And every time I got my chance, even the 2 songs with the band, I would just keep on working it, getting it better, sticking with the little guitar when I have, and I learn a little one chord in the yard, and I just go and work it, and go and work a next chord, and as I go along, then the keys start to come in place. So the singing kind of more start to come in with the guitar.
Okay, you know, I love to talk about people's journey, you know, for the very same reason that it is a journey. Because anybody seeing you now doing your live acoustic shows, which you do all the time, would think that, you know, you're a master of the craft from long time. And to hear you now taking us through this journey of not even being able to play the guitar, but having one, and anyone who you see who can play the guitar, you make as a whole heap of humility. That
I think like, I'm from Viceroy. God rest his soul. I tell you, that brother there, him and a few others were just very encouraging as elders, and you see, I said, boy, it's really, really an awesome thing to share. Like the song said, share, you know.
Yes.
It is an important thing. As you reach a point and you see a youth come, encourage like a youth. Encourage the youth, you know, and I think that is so important, you know, very important. And that's how you grow. That's how I say, like people like yourself, you not get old, mama, you grow. You see me? When you're old, you're stuck. You're not growing no more. You're just old. You see me? But when you're sharing, you're growing. And that is where a man like Tingling and them man will live forever, because me always have to talk about him saying, make sure you walk with no business about nobody I laugh after you. You just walk with it every day, and that was an encouragement. Because I remember also somebody Shane Brown. Because Shane Brown, they know me as a selector. And him say me take up artist thing. And him say you, when you go back to foreign, you go back to Miami, get one little guitar, man. He was the man who inspired me to get the guitar, Shane Brown.
Right.
Him say, get the guitar. And you see with the energy where you have, it not gonna man. Shane
So
Brown,
having
man.
the guitar,
Yeah,
I'm sure having the guitar helps you to understand key and to stay on key.
Yes, mama. Yes. Enough people that think I'm crazy when I take up the guitar too and start this Lee Tafari journey because I was doing a thing named Sight and Sound and it didn't reach, it started to pivot. And I was on a spiritual journey, so I never step away from Sight and Sound because I never liked the direction, was going in a different direction now where I saw myself. So when people see me step down from that platform, which was like was going on being a sizzle, we did Irish Jamboree and all of the big major event them was them were putting us on. That's when we started the visual mixing, with video, and we'd make our original Caribbean TV will make original visuals to go with the recordings, and that's where the video mixing started and performance embedded in that, because they used to call me the performer,
Right.
So I would perform the songs while I'm a play too.
Yes, and that certainly helps in a career like the one that you're in. When you have a natural ability to perform.
Yeah, because that can be taught. That is it's like hearsay where I get nervous first before I go, and then once I reach on, is like that is my comfort zone. Like on the stage, that is where I feel like I'm at home.
So because you need a crutch, because when you're on stage, anything can happen. You need a crutch. So that was your crutch. Performing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So that helped me to be able, because everything else you can learn.
Absolutely. Right.
You can learn.
I come forward to first of all, before I even go there, your label is called Highly Conscious, and you mentioned earlier on that a quotation from His Majesty that spoke about work and hard work, and you ought to be a proud son because you really apply that principle to everything that you do, and you've come a long way, baby.
I'm at work right now, Mama. I work like my job. When my truck called me and I said, "I have an interview. I'm at work," and it shows me because in the pandemic everything changed. The place shut down. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like at that point you're like, what you're going to do now? What you're going to do? And I mean, I am working, and I tell you this, I've never really done it, but since the pandemic is like something that I'm doing, and I realize that as anywhere else, at one company excel right up to the top of the company, in another company right up at the top, over 100 employees, and I'm here the supervisor, just like, so I say, what? It's you, it's something about yourself, and you have to know it. You have to know it. Anything when you put your hand them to, you're not going to back down from it. You're going to say, I'm never asking a promotion. I'm going to ask a certain thing, but just see it happen because of the work ethics. Because
the work ethic that you have. Yes. Yes. You know,
I tell people too, if you're lazy, I'm not to be afraid of.
Oh my goodness. Oh, anyway, so we get to the CD now, Upful Sound. So before we even talk about the CD Upful Sound, let me just say thank you very much, and please send my respect to Anise, who has been singing so long. Just to say how magnificent.
Yes. Magnificent.
Magnificent. So let us give our listeners a taste of that song, and then we talk about
that. Is my song right there. So we talk about more about that song in particular. Yes.
All right. So here we go.
Raise him with the keys, Almighty.
Beautiful and Upful Sound. You know, there's some lines in it when she says, praise him with the timbrel and the harp. And, every time I play this song, I don't know if I'm being presumptuous, but I say the Most High with a sweet smile.
Glory.
Glory. Beautiful.
Mama, as a reflect back to when you're talking about with the guitar, right?
Yes.
The learning the guitar from scratch. If there is one thing that I could have done out of music it would have been this song. It's like this is the reason why I didn't want to sing. To praise Jah. I'm not make up nothing, put my mouth on ground and talk. This is the reason as I'm standing here so this day. Me tell you this is the reason that I wanted to sing is to praise Jah. So if I could have choose one song, it's this song. I listen to this song every day no mama. When I go to work, it playing in the morning is my meditation. Every day I listen to this song. That when I put on a song for play, this is one of the songs that I play on Visionary sometimes, but this I play the most. I play the song the most, and then I have some other artist songs that are 3 songs that I play outside of that as like a meditation.
Right.
You know, I have a gospel song and this one here, but this is you know, and I would like to say a world of shout out to Maitreya Rose, you know, cause she's really an integral part of the work, you know.
Right.
It's a highly conscious work because she's
Beautiful.
sticking there and she you know put in the work and pass on the music. Because I remember when we just printed the CDs, it was 1,000 CDs we had printed. Then the pandemic hit. We was on our way to Jamaica with the CDs to distribute them, and then the pandemic hit, and it's like them just sit there because you can't really move, you can't do anything. And I just know that there's an appointed. I believe in the appointed time. You know what I mean? There's an appointed time, and I would trust. I would trust the Creator. Creator said, "No good thing will you hold from them that put them trust in Him." And I trust the Creator that now is time for the people to sing up for sound. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Cause I ready to sing it for them. You know, anyway, which part them need to sing it, I ready to sing it, man.
Very interesting what you're saying, Lee Tafari, and I'm so happy that we having this conversation because what that song does for you, that's why it's important to be our own landmark, because what it does for you, chances are it will do for others. And that's exactly what happened. Let me tell you something, Lee. Let me tell you again, every time I play the song here, a Zion me feel. And what I also feel is all my springs are in thee. Yes, I.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and a joke sound them the sound there, you know, a life sound them sound there, you know.
Yes, man. It brings I tell you, is in the early morning. It's not, you know, mama, it's not any song you can. Sometimes I never want to hear nothing.
True.
You know? So it's not, so if a song gets elected for the top of your morning as a spiritual being, it has to be something high.
Absolutely.
So me not talk about it because it is, because as I tell you, I play other songs from other artists as well. I have like 3 or 4 songs that I play in the morning.
Yes.
And Upful Sound is one of the songs them, not just because I sing it, but because of how it feels to me.
Yeah,
because I remember me as a selector too. So
right.
me not just play because of my song. No, me not do that. Me
right,
non-partial. Because the music, go ahead.
Make we talk very quickly about Anise, and Anise has always been a songbird, but we don't hear from Anise very often. And then you just draw for this beautiful empress, and look what you do together. Look what you go do.
Yes. So it's like Anisia is like a Maitreya friend, you know. Okay. And we needed somebody to do the harmony, and we know that she's like a master, you know. Yes. So we link her to the harmony. But when she send me the harmony, because I mix and master the song too, you know. So I hear mixing the song, and I'm like, may I hear so much parts that she gives me. And I said, no man, this song is a duo. This song is not the, and I just take out certain voices that she used, and even when you hear she say, I'm not afraid. And, you know, and then I answer in her certain things is just me pulling one of the voices and put it to the forward. You know what I mean? And kind of, I think we did that part where I tell her, so when we decided that we're doing the duo, but like all the ooh at the start, that was well in the late part. Me take it and put it to the start of the song because it was layers of oohs. But me take that one ooh because it just sounds so nice and put it at the start. So it's like a lot of different.
We have a minute to go. But you know, one of the things that is very clear about this song, it is as though you complemented each other's musical and spiritual energy. You couldn't do that without the spiritual energy being complemented.
No, no, and then it's marvelous because it's showing you say it's not about no denomination because Miss Anicia is a Christian and I am a Rasta man, but it's
There you
about
go.
praise the Jah.
There
Yes.
you go. So make sure you
It's
bless up
about
yourself,
love.
my sister, because that suggestion of Alicia Banks was a royal selection. We're going to leave now because time is upon us. But how well is this
I say
CD
go.
doing? And are people feeling it the way that we are?
Yes, yes. And Mama, a virtuous woman is worthy to be praised. And I praise your Mama and I thank you. And I say thank you. You keep playing the songs and keep doing what you're doing because that is how the people are going to get it, you know. They're going to get
Exactly.
it when we play it. You know what I mean? And with your energy and my energy and the energies that be, the high energies, it can't stop. So I don't worry about it. There's an appointed time.
Right.
And the time is
Right.
upon us because it's
Exactly.
happening right now.
Absolutely. And we're definitely
I'm on the phone
moving.
with Elise Kelly
We're
talking
moving,
about it.
We're moving to we're moving toward upful sounds. The people them tired of some of the sound that we need upful sounds.
Full song. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bless you.
Let's
Bless
do it
you.
again.
Bless you.
Again
Bless
and
you.
again.
Bless you. And
Yes,
thanks for
ma'am.
making the link, all right?
Thank you for making the link, ma'am. Blessed love.
All right, same to the eye. So this is how we seal off. We seal off with with the upful sound of Lee Tafari featuring Alicia Banks. Upful sounds. So we leave you with a heart full of love, you know.
Upful sound.
And this upful sound. Producer, bless up yourself. Untengle team, Art of Love. Bridge Nation, bless up yourself.